Hey all you action figure fans, it's me, Justin, the Action Figure Minute, and today we're taking a look at another figure from the Savage Crucible toy line, Nashorn the Disinherited. I'm pronouncing it Nashorn, but if I'm pronouncing it wrong, let me know in the comments. And we're going to take a look at this guy. This was, in all honesty, when I got Wave 2 in hand, the least one I was excited about opening, but I've seen a lot of people on the Savage Crucible Facebook group page doing a lot of kit bashes with this guy. I know that a lot of the pieces from one of the character packs were made for modding up Nashorn. So I'm getting more and more excited the more I look at this guy, the more pictures I see online. We're gonna go ahead and do, before I crack it open, we'll do a bio reading, and this was a cold run. I didn't practice this at all. So he awoke in an infirmary bed with his face covered in bandages. His caretakers were thin, somber Kelderillians, dressed in alchemist's robes. In time, they removed his wraps and taught him to speak and understand the common tongue. They refused to answer his questions or even let him see his face, which he felt tender and scarred. They focused intensely on teaching him to mimic voice recordings preserved on wax cylinders, to walk in the manner of a man he saw in blurred images in the sorcerer's crystals, and to train in the use of weapons by masters who themselves seemed to ape someone else's fighting styles. His caretakers suffered strict inspections throughout that long punishing period by an Anarchan high priest and a Calirian general known as War Master Mendigo. Upon overhearing a conversation between Mendigo and the high priest, they were to have him ready soon, or else proof of him and his caretakers was to be burned from memory. The man used his learned skills to escape. Chased by Mendigo's soldiers, he fled across the Caleri border into Arnica. There, to his shock, he realized his face was that of the man in the sorcerer's glass, Gwaith Ironhand, the lost leader of Arnica's resurgent movement and feared enemy of the Caleri. As Arnica's grand centennial celebration and tournament approached, he entered the games in disguise under the assumed name Nashorn. He was quickly dubbed the Disinherited, due to a lack of allegiance to any country or liege. Unsure of whose pawn he was intended to be, Nashorn fights to survive and discover who or what he truly is. So there's a lot going on in that bio, and then at the end I caught that it's not Nashorn the Disinherited, it's Nashorn the Disinherited. So correction on that. And without further ado, let's go ahead and get cracking this guy open. So if you are new to the channel, here's my little plug. Go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button. I am an opener. I open every single toy I buy, nearly every single toy that I buy. And one of these days we'll have to do a toy room tour. So with all of these Savage Crucible figures, the backdrop is a map that someday I'm going to have to study this and take a look and take a gander at it, but not right now. And you have a call out when you open the box, look behind the map. There it is, right there. Look behind the map, because behind the map is a secret card that we will open later. And then also there is a secret weapon, which we will also open later. So let's go ahead and get busting this guy out of his package. So first thing I notice looking at him, I think his skin is a really, first impressions, a real black toned skin, but there's actually a ton of dark blue in there, like a Payne's gray almost color. So it immediately makes it more interesting and appealing to my eye rather than it being just a straight black. So that's good. Go ahead and pop everything out of here, get you that action figure ASMR. Have you picked up Savage Crucible Wave 2? If so, who's been your favorite so far? Go ahead and let me know as I rip this out. There we go. All right. So, we have Nashorn the Disinherited. I'll go ahead and hold him up real close to you. I'll put him in front of me so the camera focuses on this guy instead of me. And you can see right off the jump, as the kids would say, the sculpt and the details on this figure are really good. Now, having him out of the package, again, going back to that skin tone, in package, he looked very black skin, which I didn't really like with the gold. But now out of the package, and my eyes are seeing this Payne's gray, dark grayish blue color, the gold works a lot better. It's not just like a, hey, black to gold color. He's got these really fierce crooked horns on the top of his head, which are movable. So, I don't know if you'd want to do that for whatever reason, but you can. Or maybe you can swap them and do something silly that way. And with all of the Savage Crucible figures, I haven't gotten into it yet, but they are pop and swappable. So you could see that I popped his head off very easy. The neck joints on these figures are on a barbell. So not only are you getting articulation at the head where you can go side to side, up and down and all that jazz, but you can move this neck left to right, up, down, back, forth. So putting this head back on here, there we are. We can see we can go up, we can go down, up, and you can go right, left. So you can get some pretty expressive looks with all that articulation that's in his head and neck. And then we have, let's see here, what do we want to talk about next? Let's go ahead and pop his shoulder armors off, because as you can see on this side, he has two pieces of armor in the shoulder armor system. Let's take his head off so we can look at it and focus on that better. So we've got this up top overlay, if you will, and these peg into these upper holes right here. But then we also can take that off, and he's got these gold shoulder armors as well. And those plug into the backs of his arms. So we can go ahead and peel those off so you can see we've got this one plugged in and this one not plugged in. Go ahead and peel that one off too now. Now you could easily, it looks like, take this chest armor off. I'm not going to do that now just because I don't want to mess with the tabs and things like that. Just like any of the old He-Man figures, they sometimes can be a pain, and since I'm not making a custom right now, I'm not even caring to try and attempt and do all that. So get his arms all the way out to the side, do a T-pose. You can go all the way up. Go ahead and work this around. There we go. Go all the way up. Let's take a look at his butterfly articulation. So we can go all the way back. Let's do that again. Let's see here. There we go. Let's look at it like that. So you can see his butterfly articulation. He gets a ton of movement out of there, and that's how he's able to hit the two-arm poses. He's got a cut at the bicep, so a swivel. He's got double jointed elbows. Go ahead and do that. And a swivel at where the wrists meet his forearm. And then the figure comes equipped with vertically hinged hands. All right, so both arms, let's work that elbow on this side. Both arms work perfectly. Let's look at his nether yaya, his crotch. We've got splits. You can rotate it all the way around in there. And you can kick forward. You can kick back-ish. I'm sure you can probably kick back. And he's got double jointed knees. And my aesthetic with this line, this guy's double jointed knees look good because he's got the shoulder armor that comes up and covers that kind of second joint of the knee, if you will. So no complaints by me there. I like it. Let's go ahead and get this. There we go. Had to work that knee a little more. And the ankles are on a rocker and joint so they can pivot and move all around. All right. So that is the articulation on my guy. Let's look at the rest of what's going on here. So again, he comes with vertically hinged weapon holding hands so you can hit that He-Man pose. And he comes with also horizontal hinged weapon holding hands. Let's work those real quick. Got it. Got it. And he comes with these open palm, expressive, graspy, I'm going to grab you wrestling hands. They work well. Also, he comes with this dagger. Go ahead and hold it this way so you can look at the handle, pommel, whatever that's called. And it slides right in. Oh, here's the sheath. Good, look at that. Very nice sculpting and detail and etchings and nice shimmer on here as well of the paint. And we've got his big old sword. Big broadsword. Look at all those nicks in the sculpt and weathering. He's seen some things. He's seen some damage. He's seen some action. He won in the gladiator pits. And then on his buttocks, he's got the sheath for his sword. And we can go ahead and slide that. It's a little tighter. A little tight getting in there. There we go. But it goes in. So slid right in. Hopefully it doesn't wear off paint or anything taking it in and out. Oh, it's tight. That is tight. Tight, tight, tight in there. So that could be a little looser. But it goes in there. It's not coming out if you wanted to keep it in there. All right. So let's go ahead and, while we're here, let's go ahead and get him all hooked up and going. Get him ready to go to the party. I'm seeing one plug on his waist, so that's where we're going to put his dagger if I can. Sometimes these are these little mushroom thingies. Sometimes they're a pain in the butt for me. And you might need to widen the hole a little bit, or actually, you know what you might want to do? I'm going to go ahead and do it. I'm going to go ahead and do it. Maybe. Please don't break. Oh, it didn't go where I want. Oh, there we go. Okay. So, hey, we took him off. We separated. We popped him. Hopefully that didn't worry any of you. But that's going to make it a little easier for me to put this dagger here on his side, because I can kind of see what's going on the inside and see it's pegged in there, rotate it around. And now I've got it on. Let's see. All right, go ahead and slide it back over his waist. And see if we can pop his torso back on. This is where, now that I did that, you probably don't want to force it on. I'm going to take a pause. I'm going to go heat the hole, not the pole. Heat the hole, not the pole. That way we loosen this little socket up and it slides right in. Be right back. And we're back. Look at that dude. Hitting that He-Man pose. Can't go all the way up unless we remove or make that shoulder armor weird, but he can get up there. Oh, Thundercats! Oh! So I did do a couple things also when I was heating the torso to put them back together. I unbuckled this buckle right here because it was on this side, and I swapped it to this side because otherwise his sheath would be backwards on the other side, and I didn't like the look of that as much. I guess I'm a plain Jane, like my sheath going out this in this angle, the dagger going back in that angle rather than vice versa on the other side. But all I had to do was kind of flip it and rotate it around, and it works perfectly. So you can make that little mod if you want to as well. Very simple, very easy, but this guy looks very cool. Like I said, I have my Monument Hobbies Pro Acryl Payne's Gray right here. Do that. And it's close, it's similar. But this is a bit darker too, it looks like. So who knows? A little bit darker of a Payne's Gray. But really enjoying this guy and how he looks. I mean, he looks friggin' dominant out of the package. Way different, way better than, you know, my gut initial expectations. Go ahead and do a quick pop and swap of the hand here. Go ahead and get that one on. Let's put one of these expressive open hands on here. So you can be like, yeah. Grr. Let's go ahead. Do that kind of raw. Let's do it so we can see with some light hitting the figure. But yeah, I this whole entire wave, again, the humans for the Savage Crucible line, they were out of the initial Kickstarter. I got all 3 waves on the Kickstarter, but the humans were they were my least anticipated figures from the Savage Crucible line, and every single one of these guys has been a home run. You know, if you're into sword and sorcery and this sort of things, Dungeons and Dragons, Mythic Legions, all of that, these are fantastic figures. I highly recommend grabbing some and getting some when you see them where you can. But there's your look at Nashorn. Oh, hey, let's see what we got in these blind packaging as well. Let's see, all right, here we go. The blue. I can't recall if I have this one or not. I'll have to compare later. This one seems longer than any of the ones I've received before. So fade to blue. Fade to clear, blue to clear, I should say. And the handle's a really nice kind of gunmetal dark gray. All right, and let's see what I got in the card. Still have not pulled a foil yet, one of the foil special rares. Let's see if today is the day. Is today the day? Still not good at opening these cards, but oh well. There we go. Oh, I just poked myself with the scalpel. Let's see if I bleed. All right, let's see what I get. Hopefully no blood on camera. Blood on the card. This highly, highly collectible card. Ooh. Nakara the Undying. Huh. So, very white skin. I mean, we don't have a white-skinned body like this that I'm aware of. So, I wonder if we're going to be getting one soon. I'll take a picture of this as well, and that way it'll be clearer, and you can go ahead and pause if you want to read all that stuff on there. I'm not going to read it to you, but that's a really cool looking figure. The head sculpt is different than the one that comes on Nashorn. I'm not certain if it's one of the ones that comes in the head packs, but probably not the same paint scheme, because this is probably going to be, I would think, maybe a future figure. Very neat. Excited to see that guy. Or girl. Guy. Probably. Anyway, what do you think? Picking up Nashorn, the not inheriting anything, because he's the uninherited, or the, yeah, disinherited. He ain't inheriting shit. All right, this has been your Action Figure Minute. Peace.